Hi and Assalamualaikum to Miss Cheney. Today we want to talk about how Ministry of Health manage COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia. And this is our group mate. My name is Nur Farhana Azmi binti Kamal Zaman. My number matrix is 2022479814. And the others, my friend is Nur Nasrin Kasrina binti Muhammad Syukri, Nur Afika Ayuni binti Slamat, Alia Atika binti Rahmat, and the last one is Nur Farah Shazana binti Zahri Afindi. About introduction of COVID-19. COVID-19 is started since 2019, and this is not only in the Malaysia but all the world. And as a result affected by COVID-19 is close 49 million that include local and imported cases. Meanwhile, the Malaysia is only 39,000 and plus. Many people have been affected by this virus because of this virus attack people without care about place, time, and people age, whether elderly or children or younger. COVID-19 has changed world aspects such as human lifestyle, national economy, education, population rate of people, and so on. As for now, the virus still ongoing, but the active case is not high like before, and we don't have to worry like before, and we don't have to do lockdown. This is due hard work between government, non-government party, and Malaysian action. They had carried out various initiatives and experienced many challenges and obstacles during combating COVID-19.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Afika Ayuni binti Slamat as presenter of this part. So let me explain about background of COVID-19, the features or symptoms of COVID-19, the effect of COVID-19 on the economy perspective. The 2019, the coronavirus is getting a lot of attention now because it's a new kind of virus we haven't seen among human before. So coronavirus is, or commonly known as COVID-19, is a dangerous virus that can take someone's life to those who are infected. So for your information that the word of corona is means crown, and prefer the experience that the coronavirus get from protein spike or the surface of virus. So, the COVID-19 is caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, which said that SARS-CoV-2. The virus was reported in Wuhan, China, in December 2019 by World Health Organization (WHO). So, the coronavirus is zoonotic category, meaning that the virus spread between animals and humans. SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 originates from a genetic cluster with beta coronaviruses in several coronaviruses with two lineage originating from birth. The virus was spread through someone like influenza, and when the infections droplets get into their mouth, nose, or eyes. As you can know, the virus can survive 9 days at room temperature, and also can be affected through human contact or a place where the virus exists. The symptoms of coronavirus disease may appear 2 to 40 days after exposures. This time after exposures and before having symptoms is called the incubation period. Usually symptoms can include fever, cough, and also the dryness. The early symptoms of COVID-19 may include a loss of taste or smell. In addition, there are several other symptoms such as shortness of breath, sore throat, knee, head chill, new fatigue, also the respiratory failure. And even the worst effect that can be faced is lasting lack, hurt muscle damage, nervous symptoms problems, and a kidney failure, or the simple word is that COVID-19 crisis affected worldwide economic activity seriously in terms of demand, production, investment and also income. So it can be seen via height and employment rate and depreciation in Malaysia ringgit against USD. In January 2020, the unemployment rate is 3.2%, but there is a continuous increase in the unemployment rate until May 2020, and it reaches 5.3%. Other than that, weaker exchange rate relate to cost push inflation of the cost of imported raw materials and are rising. This will impact almost to the manufacturing sector in Malaysia because most of the machines are imported from Japan and China. However, the tourism and transport is, in fact, as we know, the tourism sector is one of the biggest contributors to the country's economy. As a result of that, the Ministry of Tourism had to cancel annual campaign to visit Malaysia. So the effects, this indirectly has a big impact on the transport, hotel, accommodation, and the business sectors. So the Malaysia Hotel Association (MHA) reported that there were more than 19 hotels forced to close temporarily. This action in fact more than 1,000 workers and more than 2,000 workers more thrown out. In fact, aviation sector received the same fees because there was no entry of tourism into the country. Third is sector that is facing a drop in prices due to a drop global demand, especially the production on crude oil, palm oil, and also the rubber. This sector is very important for supply and raw materials supplies. The fourth is the financial and currency markets facing global uncertainty and the transfer capital from high risk market. So there have a positive side that among them online shopping portal such as Lazada, Shopee, and delivery like Foodpanda, GrabFood.
Hi, my name is N4AM1101C and I will explain to you about the effect of COVID-19 on environment, education and social media perspective. Now, I will start first with the effect of COVID-19 on environment perspective. The first effect is reduction of air pollution and greenhouse gases emission. It is happened during COVID-19 movement restriction, which all transportation and business operation need to be suspended. Next, work from home also is one of the factors that reduce air pollution. It is because people only use cars to buy groceries and only one person or head of the family can go out on that time. Secondly, the safety of wild creature is more secure. This is because all human activities need to be ceased, especially activities that can lead to extinction of wild animal, such as legal and illegal wild animal hunting. As a result, this will be beneficial for animals that are in danger. Like all of us know, animals also have the right to stay in this world. And lastly, the clean river and beach. As we all know, when the government given the instruction for people to stay at home during the movement restriction, all factory garbage and crude oil have not been dumped on the river or beach. As a result, the positive impact are we as a human and aquatic life will have a lot of availability clear water to survive every day. Also, it can attract tourists to come to our country when this COVID-19 virus slowly dissipates and our border is open to other countries. Next, I will continue with the effect of COVID-19 on education perspective. During the pandemic, government have given the instruction for all the school to close to stop spreading the COVID-19 virus. As a result, government implement an online learning program that is based on digital media technology. It is a platform that can be used by teachers and students for them to learning from a distance by using internet network with computer media. However, this online learning program have their positive and negative impact itself. Now, I will continue with the first positive effect of online learning, which is students and teachers can be more creative and innovative on technology. It is because teachers need to teach, learn and produce learning material on online for students. Next, students also do not have to spend energy for face-to-face class. They also can reduce their transportation fee, especially for students who did not stay in the college. And for the negative effect of online learning is,
Firstly, students drop out in learning, and secondly, students feel stress and burden for them to buy internet data to join classes and submit their work on online platform. It requires a fast internet connection, or else they need to find a place that have high connection for them to join the classes. Next, some students do not have technology facilities because they can't afford it, and some students also they have the facilities but they need to share with their siblings, so it is difficult for them to join the classes, such as mobile phones and laptop. And lastly, disturbing home environment. Noises and discomfort place can make them less motivated to enjoy their online learning program. And the last effect of COVID-19 is on social media perspective. Even before the COVID-19 exists, people have been using social media as a platform to interact with one another. However, during the movement restriction, the social media has experienced a sharp increase. It is because people choose social media for them to spend their leisure time at home, such as entertainment, movies, and games. It is because people have been banned to do outdoor activities by the government. Next, social network service also increased. It is because people use it as a platform to know the latest information about the COVID-19 issues or other issues. It is estimated 4.57 billion people use the internet because there are also some traders who use the opportunity to gain the income during stay at home. In addition, the negative effect is people use social media as a platform to channel fake news and information. It is caused by some irresponsible parties through Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. As a result, it makes people tend to ignore the right information from the relevant agencies such as Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission. Because of that, public need to check the validity of the information before they share it to other people on any social media, so that it can avoid many of fake news spread that can cause trouble to the parties who need to explain the real news to the community.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adatika binti Rahmat. Today I want to introduce about how to overcome in planning perspective. Firstly, I want to introduce what is the definition of planning. Planning is a determination of a future course of an action to achieve desired result. It also is a process thinking before you doing it. It represents within each other management will operate, and also it also of an organization and of correcting them with opportunities available in business world. Of the planning. Importance of the planning, firstly, is planning provides direction. What is it is planning is involved in the deciding the future course of an action. After that, we have the planning reduces the risk of uncertainty. Is that every business has to operate in an uncertainty environment. After that, we have the planning promotes. Planning promotes creativity and innovative idea. Is the planning that encourages creativity and helps many organizations in many ways. From my perspective, we have our Prime Minister, who is Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, on at August. He aims the increases of COVID-19, so changes everyone's life. Also, he banned foreigner to come to Malaysia because don't want the spread the infections. After that, for the Malaysian members who just went to overseas and come back to Malaysia, they have to quarantine themselves for 14 days and undergo the health in RBK. After that, government also made apps that call My Sejahtera, and that can also in My Sejahtera. And lastly, the government makes campaign to ensure practice through avoiding the 3C. They also ask us to avoid the 3C, which is places, crowded places, and also close conversation. After that, we also have to practice this 3W. 3W is we have to wash, wear, and warn about the COVID-19. Lastly, the organizing perspective, we also have the education perspective. In education perspective, they might think that how students can continue their study when the pandemic hit. Firstly, in the school in Malaysia, they might plan to start the Smart School project, which is established in 1997. In general, assumable that online teaching and learning are the mechanisms in ensuring education during the unprecedented lockdown due to the COVID pandemic. They also have the popular platform for them when the pandemic hit. They can use Google Classroom for their online study. After the planning perspective, we have organization perspective. In organization perspective, they have a definition. What is the definition of the organization? Definition of the organization is the word that called as organizing. Organizing also refers to the process of a managerial function. That is, study the organization structure to help one to clarify the principal features of the organization anatomy and study the similarities as well as the distinctions. Have the importance of organizing. First, facilitates administration as well as operation. It's also we call as organizing is the process that leads to identify of the groups of the activities. After that, we help in importance also. We also have helps in optimum utilization of resources. Is also the function that will provide different jobs to different employee according to the job of specification. In the organization, we have the government perspective. Government perspective also see their response to the pandemic as an opportunity to foster organization. Then, government also provided 3 economies stimulus packages in order to cushion the impact of the sinking economy. In addition, early studies have shown that the MCO will greatly affect the business. It's also to accomplish this within the incubation period time of frame, and an aggressive screening approach has been used if isolate and treat the positive case. Next, Malaysia has yet to reach target at 6,500 tests daily. Then, the dissemination information includes regular media announcement for MOH. It also starts from the day 7 of the MCO1 or the 70th day after the 100 case. We can see it in the figure 1 that I have shown. Next, in the economy perspective. In economic perspective, in Malaysia, government over a span of 6 weeks has announced 3 economic stimulus packages. Then, Malaysia has instituted of economic research forecast to show that in the absence of the strong stimulus, they also have the academy of Professor Malaysia APM. After that, in the medical perspective, firstly, we have the data of 804 participants in medical of citizens things about the vaccine. Firstly, group that unlikely to take the vaccine was 1.9%. Lastly, in the planning perspective, we have the medical perspective. About the medical perspective, Prime Minister Tan Sri Yassin planning that everyone has to take a vaccine. Government also encouraged to make campaign for people to take a vaccine and tell everyone the benefit of vaccine. Also, if they take a vaccine, they can avoid the spread about the COVID-19, the infectious.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Katrina binti Muhammad Shukri and I presented about topic decision making and controlling. Definition of decision making is the process of identifying and selecting a course of action or alternative to solve a specific problem. And definition from other scholars is by Peter Drucker is a choice whereby a person performs a conclusion about a situation. And by Hans and Macy, decision making is a process of selection from a set of alternative courses of action. And lastly, by E.MC Farland, is an act of choice wherein an executive from a conclusion about what must be done in a given situation. Very important for decision making. Number 1 is essential for providing unity in actions. Number 2, the key to successful managerial performance. And number 3, criterions determine whether a person is in good or not in management. Next, in decision making, I will talk about a government perspective. Number 1, government enforced strict mitigation measure as the first step in containing the spread of the virus. Number 2, closure of all educational institutions, places of worship, and non-essential sectors. And number 3, only head of family was allowed to travel within 10-kilometer radius to purchase grocery. And Malaysian and non-citizens prohibited from leaving or entering the country. And this thing, to government decide to break the chain of the virus. And from economic perspective, government decided to lock down all operating stores, and government also permitted a few economic sectors to operate with strict conditions because of the virus that have landed in Malaysia. From medical perspective, countries control the unstable situation by having a quarantine, curfew, and lockdowns. And because of the, according to certain characteristics, a government decided to develop for COVID-19 vaccination. And from education perspective, with government decide to continuation of schooling via online educations. And next, government also developed the delivery program through remote online learning. Because of these times, students cannot attend to their school to have their learning studies. And because of this, pedagogical teachers is existence in Malaysia. Next, I will talk about controlling. Controlling is the process to ensure that actually activity conform to planned activities. Not only that, controlling can be defined as a process of monitoring performance and taking action to ensure desired results. The regulation of organizations' activity in such a way to facilitate goal attainment. Definition in controlling by other scholars. First, by Keynos and O'Donnell, controlling is a measuring and correcting of activities of insubordinates. And number 2, by G theory, decision making is the process of determining what is to be accomplished. And lastly, by Brecht, decision making is systematic exercise is called a process of checking actual performances against their standards open with a view.
Next, important of controlling. Number 1 is controlling can achieving organizational objective. Controlling detects any kinds of deviation and accordingly corrective action are implemented. Number 2, controlling can reduce cost, increase productivity or added value. And number 3, controlling to adapt the change and accordingly. This helps manager in determining the gap between thinking and actual implementations. It leads to better decisions making and improve the overall performance of the organization.
Another perspective I will discuss in controlling is by government. First, by government perspective, government tightens movement in and out of country and finds people who disobey government's orders. Not only that, government also ensures citizens to take the vaccines. This is the key of the ending for COVID-19, and Malaysians also have examples like national immunization programs that aim actually 100% receive vaccination by February 2022. And government also launched a messenger application to detect the virus that has spread in our country. Next, by economic perspectives, during the MCO, actors from NGOs offer social welfare service to those in need, and from government agencies play their roles to supporting the implementation of the policies. And government also thinks back to open the employment sectors more widely because the cases has slightly decreased in our country that time. Next, I will talk about medical perspective. The government and Ministry of Health (MOH) work together in disseminating statements about the quarantine issues. In targeted testing, the test is conducted based on located on COVID-19 hotspots and for high risk on groups only. Malaysians should conduct COVID-19 testing as wide as possible so that this test will be able to pick up and most of the possible cases, and an effective contact tracing strategy will be sustained. Such examples, The patient could be placed on 40 days quarantine and be treated so as to certain and spread of the disease. Last but not least, by education perspectives, to ensure the continuance of public schooling student learnings, MOE, Ministry of Education, adopts a few strategies to implement the best feasible plans for facilitating course delivery. First, flexibility in pedagogies. MOE gives each school flexibles to appropriate a class schedule, online class, mechanism, checking student tests and assignments. And government also provided online teaching support, like teaching remotely. Teachers teaching remotely from homes may also be influenced by houseworks and its complex asynchronous lesson, such as Zoom's Google Meet. Besides that, the initiative by Malaysian Ministry of Education, together with UNICEF, Malaysia has developed online resources and training to assist teachers in conducting online teaching and learning digital teachers community with OME. That's all from me that I have present in parts of decision making and controlling, and thank you.
Back with me again. I want to talk about conclusion. All the government, health organization and others authority, they are continuously focusing on identifying the cases affected by the COVID-19. And our healthcare professional face a lot of difficulty to maintain the quality of healthcare system, because we don't want to this case active like before and not high like before. And we want to maintain our world and doesn't have to do lockdown again. The COVID-19 situation show high risk and exposure among racial or ethnic group, that we need to think seriously how to close the gap right away. Moreover, as Glenn Kumar said, the strength of healthcare system is inseparable from broader social system that surround it. Health protection relies not only on well-functioning health system with universal coverage, which the US could highly benefit from, but also on social inclusion, justice and solidarity. In the absence of this factor, inequalities are magnified and scapegoating persists, with discrimination remaining long after. And when we recall, during the lockdown, every people must staying at home and working from home, but we don't want to stay in this situation again, because we want to be healthy and be normal, our normal lifestyle like before this COVID-19. The COVID-19 has proved that nature has provided us with all resources leading for beautiful life and nourish us like a mother. So human has to respect the nature. That's from me and from us. Thank you.